In today's episode of the Pathmark Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Amelia Taylor, and she's hailing over from the folks over at Reggie.ai. And Reggie.ai is a very interesting product. It's an AI content platform for modern marketers, right? And all you guys listening, of course, are modern marketers. So today, basically, we want to deep dive into how you can do, AI content creation, how you can leverage it, and how it actually can benefit your business. So, Amelia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited to jump into seeing how Pathmark could possibly fit into the Reggie workflow because what y'all are doing is absolutely incredible. So I'm excited to share more about what Reggie can do for teams in all areas of the business. I mean, there's marketing, sales, there's CS, there's, across the board, content creation is such a hot topic right now. And honing in on exactly how it can help specific teams, individuals, organizations that are enterprise, Fortune 500 to the lower scale too, top of the funnel, how I can help them just simplify what they're creating and simplify it with the enhancements needed to where you don't take away the human aspect of things. You still have that, but it's generating what you need to be able to actually have relevant content distribution to your ICP and it being in the same language that your salespeople are talking to. So what you're sending out, your salespeople are also in alignment with what that is, knowing what it is through Reggie. And we'll jump into a bit more about what, how that can happen, but then having the salespeople talking what marketing's sending out, because there is such a misalignment there, and we could go on and on about that. But really, really, really being able to having that collateral right there so salespeople can talk, marketing talk, and vice versa, knowing that you're driving revenue and with having the same exact way that you're speaking to your buyers.
Gotcha. Very good. Then maybe let's deep dive into the question a little bit further. So now, of course, it's clear what you guys are doing, but maybe tell me a little bit about how people learn about Reggie these days, right? So, I mean, you got an amazing platform, you can generate amazing content, maybe, but how do people learn about Reggie at the first place?
It's a great question. So that is a work in progress right now that I am really heading of how to get Reggie out there as being the leader in the space and being your all-in-one, as it is an all-in-one platform for modern go-to-market teams. So getting that in front of the right people and showing people, hey, this is the way, this is how it's going to help your productivity, this is going to save you time, this is going to save you energy, it's going to give you ideas, it's going to give you the blog creation, the newsletter creation, the push to get to where your team wants to be. It's not just the vision of it, it's the actual doing of it. So putting the hands-on and saying, okay, here's the inputs that I can put in here that's going to generate the outputs, that are either one idea, kind of this whole idea generating content that you can slice up, you can piece up, you can save it in your built-in CMS within Reggie, or you can regenerate it completely. If you don't love it, regenerate it. But there's a 20% of that human touch that you can still really factor in. So I am in a lot of different communities when it comes to Slack communities or those on LinkedIn, but really it's figuring out exactly where our buyers live, showing up there and helping them navigate what in the world this whole AI talk is about. Where do we go from here and how do we even start? Because there's the chat GPT, let's bring that out, right? Like that is a hot topic right now. Like we were saying prior to the show is people are wondering how do we leverage it? And to jump on the back of that and share. So Reggie's built with the same generating system as chat GPT. So we have a really, really, really heavy focus on being accurate. So the accuracy of what's being generated through the inputs you're putting in, what's being generated in the outputs. So they are great. OpenAI, they are great. They're doing what they're doing. And the focus is not to make it as clean and precise and everything right now. It will be, absolutely. I have no doubt about that. But for Reggie, our focus is doing exactly what Chat GPT is doing, because we're built on that same operating system, but enhancing that for the exact user and ensuring that it's fitting where they need to be going, what their initiative is, what their focus is, and the alignment across the team, and having this content library of all the different things that you've created, what works, what doesn't work. And then we analyze hundreds of thousands of emails every single month. So, we're going through, we're listening to Gong, we're going in Salesforce, Outreach, HubSpot, any SAP tool, that we integrate with. And we're analyzing all these things, what's working, what's not. And so everything is built on best practices, which is a huge factor. That great, you can go and do that through Chat GPT 3, but it might not be best practices, because it really is just a generating system.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Now, what I'm curious about is, if we talk about their journey, right? How do you think about the website, Reggie.ai? What role does the website play in the journey of people getting started with Reggie?
There's the PLG motion, right? There's the go straight to the website. You can sign up on your own. And then there's also let's figure out who trusts this company, who is actually working with this company. And we're in the middle of right now focusing on getting more testimonials out there, getting more things that are going to be where the industry is right now, which is buyers are buying from people they trust. So they're going either that PLG route, or they're going, they're not necessarily requesting a demo all the time, right? They're going to their peers asking, hey, is this a good option for me? What do you think? And that's a lot of that dark social, that dark funnel, the channels that aren't easily attributed to, such as a website. So knowing who does come to the website and being able to say, these match our persona of who we can really, really help, and being able to show up where they are at. The website is clearly laid out for those to see. Great, if you're trying to do anything social promotion wise, because social selling is such a huge thing right now too, and content creation via social, in all aspects, newsletters, blogs, like I said, and having that be clearly laid out. This is going to be for all teams. It is for every single team that has any content need. They need someone to create, but they don't have anyone in-house. But AI is the way, and it's the future, and the future is now, and jumping on that. So really focusing on our website, delivering that message to the buyers or those just interested. Hey, what is going on in the world? Let me just figure this out, and clearly laying it out of, here's what we do, here's who we are, here's those that are within the organization, here's their background too, because some of the most brilliant minds that I have ever come across are the ones who have created Reggie. And so part of the reason I joined Reggie was really because of the minds behind who's creating this. I mean, we've got Matt Millen, who is our, he was at Outreach, helped go from 0 to 200 million with Manny. And then we have Suri, who he's the other founder. He was ex-Google, ex-Facebook, one of the first 50 people who was doing the engineering and the coding and all of that for Facebook. So the minds behind the operation, it is powerful. They're powerful people. And so knowing that they know what they're doing, but also saying, okay, Amelia, I'm going to be out there where our buyers live and seeing what conversations are being had, and driving that awareness to Reggie, to the page, to just myself, where I can have talk shop conversations, all of that, and seeing if it makes sense for them to have Reggie. So showing up in a helping aspect opposed to just selling. I think the website in and of itself is very simplified, and showing the Chrome extension that we have, that being a really powerful tool, with it being the personalizer is within there. Then there's Humantics, which we have integrated within the personalizer, that shows you your DISC and ocean assessment. If I went and was going to one-off send you an email, you can put your email in, and it's going to either generate it completely by itself. I can go in with my personal touch and tweak, do what I'm pleased with it, but it'll pull things based off of your work history, based off of your about section, what, if you've been on podcasts, what you've tweeted about, those certain things, or what your company has been doing, different features, different, things that have been happening that are being shared online within LinkedIn, where that person's at. And then based off what that person posts and whatnot, they're going to give you that disc and ocean assessment of how do you speak to this person best? What's resonating with them in the very best way? And it'll take that and help generate that message to be really, really relevant and personalized to them specifically on like a very granular scale.
Very cool. Super, super interesting. I mean, what you guys are doing, you're in a super hot space, of course. Glad that we had you on the show to get, insights. I want to sort of slowly wrap it up as we're moving towards the end of the show today. I got some rapid fire questions to finish up on a high note. Are you ready for those?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Very good. What is the last book that you read?
Oh, I have it sitting next to me, Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke.
What's the one single thing that Reggie.ai is focused on the most at the moment?
Evangelism, that being the forefront of the conversations, being the top AI content creation platform.
If there would be no boundaries in tech, you have basically a magic wand. What's the one single thing that that you would fix for your role in marketing with that magic wand?
That it was just magic, and so it would do it by itself. that would be my best answer. No, that we would have more of a focus on, which is a focus of ours, of really having that influencer marketing and advisor marketing happening too. So where we're building an army of people who are on a rooftop screaming, hey, we love Reggie, you should love Reggie. And so that's a big thing, an initiative right now. But on the marketing side, having that really, really focused. I would also say attribution is a massive thing that a lot of people are trying to figure out. How in the world do you attribute what to what? If this was done, a conversation was had in WhatsApp, where do you go and put that in? So specific UTMs and, landing pages, all of that. And where did you hear that open text field? Where did you hear about us? Having that so it can just solidify it all. Actually,
a lot of people mentioned that on the show. Like, what is it specifically that you personally want to figure out and learn about attribution? Because we have a lot of people mentioning it. What do you personally think is the sort of the key issue, or what would you like to solve?
I think the key issue, first and foremost, is nobody, and I think I think there's certain people who really understand this. I think there's a lot of people who are in the dark about it. Some people are just kind of dabbling in it right now. So I'm not surprised. A lot of people have brought this up on the show either. What is the very best way? How is it? What is the best way? How do you do it to attribute the conversations, and if they're qualified or not to even be attributable? Also, if it's a lead that comes in because you were on a podcast, right? Like I'm hopeful that there's going to be a handful of y'all that are going to show up because of me jumping on here and chatting about Reggie and just wanting to learn more. So, I've got my talk shop kind of landing page so I can track that UTM saying, okay, this is where I know this is sourced from. And then the flow goes straight into our Salesforce. But that had to be from me bringing that up, saying, hey, I don't know what's coming from what. Can we make sure that we hone in on this? So bringing awareness to that, and then asking people, just go and ask certain people who are doing it. And they do it well. I mean, there's Chris Walker, who is talking about it all the time about dark social. Go and listen to some of his stuff, because his attribution model that he has is very, he makes it look easy. Let's just say that. But knowing where you are sourcing things from has got to be something that is really, I think in 2023, that's going to be a massive shift that we'll see, that a lot of social has to be attributed, and people will find different ways of doing it, which are fine. I don't think anything should ever be, we've always done it this way, because you're going to fall behind.
And so knowing the acceleration is because of social, like companies doing more on social and hence needing to know better, like, which campaigns and which posts and maybe even which platforms work.
Yeah, I do. I think a lot of companies are realizing that social works, social sell, voice messages work. The mobile app on LinkedIn is a little all over the place right now, but it's, those work. And there's how do you say to someone who's always done something one way, and then you pick up the phone and then you have your demo and then you do this, and there's the flow of how this motion goes, switching that mindset and switching the flow of how it should go based off of where the market's at and where the industry is going and what others are doing, and then having documentation of what works and what does not work is so important. So documenting, this came from this channel, this came from this, because I can say in 2022 about 85 to 90% of revenue I generated was through Slack channels and communities. And that's pretty unorthodox, but it's because I met my buyer where they were at and where they lived. So having it simplified, the buyer's journey being very simplified, and then being in a selling position, making it so easy for us to just say, hey, let's hop in a huddle real quick because we're going back and forth. So knowing that there's a better way sometimes, but knowing who your buyer is, having that EQ to know how to read the room a bit virtually, and then the IQ of knowing this is the right time and this is what we need to discuss to move the needle.
And what do you hear? Let's say marketers fix attribution and they have that perfect picture. What will they now be able to do better in your perspective? Maybe also for the people who haven't really wrapped their head around like what's actually the whole fuss all about. Like what in your opinion do marketers do then?
Gosh, that's a great question. I mean, I think a lot of their time can be spent on more focus on video creation, what that looks like, and other marketing activities that are going to bring a heavy focus on the enterprise. Say you're focusing on enterprise organizations or S&B, whatever it is, but focusing more tailored to that, not just the TAM, your specific ICP, and having more content related to them, not in totality as a whole. So having the whole attribution model of social being part of the workflow that is automatically just pushed through into your source of truth, which has to be true. Let's just say that, let's point the obvious out, that if your source of truth is not true, then there's a problem internally, that you've got to get some RevOps in there and you got to fix that. Because, I think that is the big thing too, is having RevOps within your organization to be able to ensure that source of truth is being true, to help your salespeople, to help your marketing team, everybody to have this understanding of where we're at, where we're going, and then knowing, okay, here's the lead source, here's the lead meeting. Maybe this was a rep who booked this. Maybe it's sourced through evangelism or a Slack community, putting that to simplify it. But really there can be a heavier focus and less time spent on trying to figure out how do we do this. If there was somebody who could just say, go outsource it, is my personal take. Go outsource it with somebody who knows what they're doing, or just ask questions to people. I'm such a believer in that. How do I do this? And get some answers and then bring it to the table within your organization so you can streamline things a whole lot faster.
Perfect. That is super, super interesting. Amelia, I really appreciate you joining us today for the Pathway Presents podcast. Thanks a lot for being a guest on the show today.
Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Excited that we could do this.